What's up everyone, welcome back to Switchcraft, and it's a great day to be a gamer. We finally got the long overdue Q1 2019 Nintendo Direct. Honestly, with all the supposed leaks and rumors we started getting as far back as December of last year, people were starting to think it was never going to happen. The supposed leaks got so bad that we had a little case of boy who cried wolf. But the last rumor from Reset Era contributor KingZell turned out to be right. For the date at least, and we were subject to what was arguably one of the best directs we've ever seen. I'm talking E3 2017 levels of awesome. There were a ton of games, something for everyone, and so I gotta summarize all the best announcements, talk release dates, and of course, double check all the previous rumor videos I made for this, including all the hits and misses. Right off the bat, we were smacked in the face with one of the most obviously missing titles in the entire Switch library. The game that will finally put the final nail in the Wii U coffin. Super Mario Maker 2. It comes out this June, and you can bet it'll be the most captured and streamed game on Twitch and YouTube for months. I cannot stress enough how much people were waiting, hoping, praying for this game. It makes total sense, comes with a newer, better interface, more features from newer games, and it's obviously a day one purchase for me. And whether or not you like it, it should be a day one purchase for you as well. Then, I'm going to skip right to the end of the Direct because I cannot wait any longer to talk about it. The rumors that we've been hearing for months are true, and we're getting a new 2D Zelda game for the Switch. Not just any 2D Zelda game, mind you. We're getting the brand new remake of the 25-year-old Link's Awakening from all the way back in the Game Boy days. Honestly, this was the title that excited me the most in the whole presentation. I remember playing through the entire game in grade school on this lime green Game Boy Color. Now, if I'm being honest, 11 or 12-year-old me actually needed the Prima official strategy guide, but the level of satisfaction when I finally conquered it was something I'll always remember. I have actually 2 copies of Link's Awakening DX, and it's the only Game Boy game that I have complete in box. The art style of this new game looks absolutely spectacular, and I cannot wait to dive into this for weeks. Whether it's the exact game remade, or if we get a bunch of new content, I sincerely hope we get a full-on special edition with a ton of nostalgic artwork and music. It's gonna be massive, and I'm just a little excited if you couldn't tell. Honestly, I would have been happy if we just got these 2 titles and called it a day. Instead, between these 2 announcements bookending the Direct, we got a ton more games. Some highlights include Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which has been pushed back a little from the spring of 2019 to July 26th release date, which we can confirm will have a special edition. We'll get the standalone game and the Seasons of Warfare edition, which will include a physical copy of the game, a steel bookcase, a sound selection CD, an art book, and a really unique looking 2020 calendar. The Direct spent a lot of time talking about this game. Personally, I think it was a little too much, but for all of the really hardcore Fire Emblem fans, it must have been nice to get that level of detail. Moving quickly through a few more of the titles we saw, a reminder of Mortal Kombat 11 launching on April 23rd, and really cool looking Bloodstained Ritual of the Night coming this summer, Box Boy and Box Girl, which is a 2D puzzler coming on April 26th, an update and some DLC for Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, the new missions, and an update coming to Starlink Battle for Atlas, EA's Unravel 2, Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, Everybody on March 20th, the racing simulator Grid Autosport, Disney Tsum Tsum Festival, which is apparently pretty popular with the kiddies, and a remastered version of Rune Factory 4 with Rune Factory 5 coming to the Switch, but the exact date will be announced later. Those were mostly filler, except for Mortal Kombat. Reminder, and we still have a ton more big games we gotta talk about. Most of them with something in common. It's the fact that they're all getting demos. First up was a reminder that Yoshi's Crafted World is still happening March 29th, but that we'd get a demo the day of the Direct. The game we desperately needed to hear more about was Daemon X Machina. It's also getting a demo the day of the Direct to give the developers feedback a la Octopath Traveler. The free-to-play Battle Royale puzzler Tetris 99, which was also available right after the Direct, and a free Chapter 1 demo of the Undertale successor, Deltarune. I gotta say, I'm loving how the industry is moving more and more towards demos. giving us the chance to actually get a feel for the game before deciding if we want to shell out full price. I especially like the titles that run these betas, essentially looking for feedback on how to make the game better. That's got to be close to already 20 games that we talked about, but there's still a ton more to cover. While they won't be getting demos as far as we know, we still have lots of huge titles all packed into this 35-minute Nintendo Direct. We finally saw the title that Platinum Games has been working on, and it's called Astral Chain. It's basically a futuristic battling and exploration game where you're in a police special forces unit with access to the Legion, which is a special living weapon, whatever that means. The cinematic trailer we saw looked awesome, and I can only hope it looks as great, as fast, and as smooth and as crisp when we actually get it on the Switch. We'll be getting more details on it, but we did get a release date of August 30th. Oh, and did I mention we're getting a few more ports coming to the Switch? Remember last year when everyone was complaining about all of the ports we were getting? Well, now with the Switch at almost 1,800 games, and more being announced every day seemingly, they've effectively been silenced. But for good measure, we got the surprise announcement of ports like Hellblade, Cinema's Sacrifice launching this spring and looking absolutely beautiful. The long overdue migration of Dead by Daylight to our favorite portable console, Assassin's Creed 3 remastered, which wasn't a surprise at all really, and had been supposed, and it was in all the supposed direct leaks since as far back as September of last year. And then maybe the biggest official announcement of a port in Switch's history, Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Arguably the best Dragon Quest entry to date, a massive hit on other consoles, and now we have a custom-made, jam-packed with extra content Switch version. We get increased battle speed options, new character-specific character stories, fully orchestrated battle and field music, the amazing ability to swap between HD and 16-bit overworld graphics, and it's all coming to us this fall. Clearly the best version of the game, and it's gonna sell like hotcakes. Clearly a day one purchase, and I'm not alone in that I waited until I can play it anywhere on the Switch before I picked up a copy. The Direct was rounded out with a tease for Smash Bros. Ultimate Version 3 update with Joker, a spring release but no set date. We got more footage of some more detail on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 The Black Order coming this summer. Oninaki is a cool looking RPG from Square's RPG Factory, the same studio that gave us Lost Sphere. And while we're talking about Square, oh yeah, they made Final Fantasy IX available on the eShop for download the day of the Direct, with mention of Final Fantasy VII coming on March 20th. All in all, we got over 30 games mentioned, and while there are some obvious titles left out, not many seem to notice, as the tidal wave of games we did get, capped off by Mario Maker 2 and the remake of Link's Awakening, kept everybody satisfied, and are leading people to agree that this was possibly the best Direct we've ever had. As far as predictions go, pretty much everyone got everything wrong, except for King Zell a few days before, who gave us that at least the correct date. But if you look at some of his other posts on Reset Era, I talked about in my video earlier in the week, he got some major game announcements right too. Mario Maker 2 was a big hit, Box Boy was dead on, and he correctly predicted that we'd get the 2D Zelda of some sort, finally shown off. I can't say the same unfortunately for Pikmin 3, Pokemon, or the Metroid Prime trilogy. Furthermore, while not nearly as specific, fellow Reset Era Nintendo insider Emily Rogers, who I talked about last week, seems to know what she's talking about for the most part as well. She had a list of 8 unannounced games coming to the Switch this year, and while she didn't mention them specifically being dropped in the Direct, it's safe to say we can cross off a couple of those off the list. We had the 4 mystery games, which Astral Chain, 2D Zelda, Mario Maker 2 definitely fit nicely. The eShop games could be any 2 of the titles we talked about today. Was the mystery Wii U port Assassin's Creed 3? Anyways, overall, a pretty good score, as pretty much the only thing that we didn't get in today's Direct was the new Labo, and you can bet that eventually will be coming. So wouldn't you know it, most leaks turned out to be completely flat out wrong. Guesses on YouTube, some respectable insiders getting a lot right, and still a ton of surprises. An amazing Direct, a ton of great games, all coming out this year, and we still haven't heard anything about most of the titles we were expecting out in the back half of 2019. Start saving, folks, because Nintendo is poised to continue crushing those NPDs and regain its rightful place at the top of the video game world. Thank you so much for watching. It's a great day to be a gamer. Switchcraft out.